You guys asked for it and I delivered. We did a poll the other day and I asked you guys what was the next mystery you wanted me to read on. And boy, did you guys pick a doozy. Why did you pick a doozy? You picked Stonehenge. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun. Stonehenge is an ancient circle of rocks. For those of you who've never seen it before, if you just Google it real quick, you'll see Stonehenge. And it's not anything like amazing, like, it's not like floating or levitating or anything, but it's all these rocks in a circular formation. And it's just always been strange. Like, why did ancient man take the time to do this when it wasn't easy to do? So there had to have been a reason. And one person told me that it was a scaffold. So basically, it was built so aliens could land their spaceships right there at Stonehenge. Now, I've never quite believed this. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm not certain if that's it. Put it like that. So today we're going to find out what was Stonehenge, what was it used for, what was going on there. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anyone and everyone who might like it too. Please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. Let us know, what did you think was going on in Stonehenge, and what do you think about the explanation that I give? Please, if you want to get a reading done of your own, hit me up on social media or email me. I'll be glad to hook you up. Underneath this video is going to be all of my information. It's going to be my Patreon information. It's going to be the decks that I use to do this particular reading, which is going to be a lot of fun, and a whole bunch of other information. So check it out. All right, so first and foremost, I'm going to turn the cards around. Now remember, all of the cards that are in the reverse, I'm going to read them as reversals. But I'm going to turn the artwork around when I get to the card so you can see the artwork. You can't see it if it's reversed. So number one, Four of Wands reversed was going on there. The Devil reversed was going on at Stonehenge. What's this one? The Seven of Swords was going on in Stonehenge. The Eight of Wands and the Four of Cups. Okay, so they're all reversed except for this one. So I'm going to read them that way. The first card tells us that this was a place that people gathered. So it wasn't the spaceship landing place. It wasn't the landing place for spaceships. It was actually a place where people gathered. They gathered for things like weddings, like, spiritual baptisms. They would have had a different name because this is ancient people, so they would have had different names for these things. And I don't know the ancient people of this part of the world, so I don't know their traditions, but they would have been doing traditional community things there of the spiritual nature. Nowadays, it would be a wedding, maybe funeral rites, divination could have went on there, stuff like that. Baptisms could have went on there. Any kind of ways of people who come together for spiritual community events. That's the first card. The second card here was the Devil reversed. The Devil reversed tells us that they also did things like what we would call exorcism. So like removing evil spirits, cleansing a person, putting that kind of stuff. Like sometimes a person will think that they have, somebody evil or something negative on them. And these ancient people would take them, I guess, put them on maybe a slab or something, and do some form of removing evil, removing negativity, removing demons, things like that. So these are all spiritual type of ceremonies. So Stonehenge basically was a place for spiritual type stuff like that. This one here indicates initiation ceremonies. So it seems to me, we'll find out later, this place must have been kept by very spiritual people that were like maybe priests, shaman, something along that, holy people basically, and those people would do their initiations there as well. This right here, this card here indicates like inner travels, so like shamanic journeying type things, any type of intuitive, like inner work, that kind of stuff went on here. And it also was a retreat area. So those people, the holy people I said before, they would go there to congregate with each other, to work together, to say prayers together, like a brotherhood or sisterhood. I don't know if it was all men or both. They're not really giving it to us. In ancient times, they had a tendency, sometimes they separated the men from the women and sometimes they didn't. So we're not really sure, but we do know that there was peoples there who were cooperating together, working together, much the same as any other spiritual organization does. We saw them doing initiations. They're coming here to do retreats. They're coming together. And I don't think they're staying there, but they're probably doing their ritual aspects there. So that was interesting. I was like, oh, okay, I see you. Here's some other things they had going on. They said they would do things to bring themselves to the point of joy and ecstasy. So a lot of spiritual groups do this. Let me pull this a little closer. A lot of spiritual groups do this. Sometimes they take substances to do this. Sometimes they dance or sing and get themselves up into a frenzy. So they were doing their form of that, whatever that may be. I see people do it with drums. I see people do it with flutes, with rattles. Some people just do it with their bodies, like the Sufi. They'll spin in a circle and do it. So they had some type of method of bringing about joy and ecstasy, some type of way. That's part of their spiritual practice. Number two, this card here, they were getting omens there too. So there was some form of divination. We talked about that before. So somebody there, like for instance, a priest or priestess was getting omens, doing some form of divination. We don't know how they did their divination because everybody does divination differently. Some of us use cards. Some of us use dice, cowrie shells, bones. I've seen so many different forms of divination. I've seen somebody use smoke, ink, all kinds of different things. So somebody was doing readings there, basically is what that means. And right here, a lot of people came because they wanted to know if they should take a chance. Remember, ancient times were not as certain as they are now. So something as easy as going on a journey to your homeland could go terribly wrong. It could go awful. So somebody might come and say, well, should I take this risk? Should I take this journey? Should I marry this person? Things along those lines. What will happen with our child? So the oracle, they had some type of oracle here. And a lot of people in the ancient times had oracles. And it had to have been one of these holy people that probably would do it. And this person would tell them if it was a good idea or not to take the chances that they wanted to take. They would also ask them about their fortune. Like, what will my future be? Will I get money? Will I have good fortune? The same kind of things we would ask that type of person now. Same kind of things people ask me every day. Every day. So it hasn't really changed. Let me put this. This goes here. Okay. What else went on? See that retreat there again? Definitely a place of retreat. Interesting. So these people, the people that ran this, remember I said that they were elders or some type of like teacher. It says right here they were definitely teachers. So they were teachers, elders, things like that. They're the ones that they actually ran it. Because remember, this is just where they came to do the ceremonies. It's kind of like going to church. A lot of people I know go to church. Some people go to a synagogue. Some people go to a mosque. But in ancient times and still today, some people go into nature. So they would go to a place like Stonehenge, or they might go to the woods. They might go down by the beach. A lot of people do their spirituality. They do their church, quote unquote, in nature. So Stonehenge was where a lot of this stuff was going on. So they didn't live there. They would just come there, do their thing, and then go. And whatever intervals they needed to. The teachers are the ones, the elders are the ones who ran things and did the divination, did the ceremonies and things like that. Remember I said it was like a place to retreat to. So they would go there and talk to each other and have like this brotherhood, sisterhood, familyhood, whatever the case was amongst the holy people that were there. And this is a good thing as well. And they were very accepting. I was very interested to see that. This group of people was very accepting of others and very open-hearted. Look at their heart chakra. It's wide open. They were very courageous. They had, and it's look at them, their head in the stars. They were very knowledgeable about the stars and the heavens. And even to this day, many of us that do these types of practices work with the moon energy. So they were very open and knowledgeable about what we would call astrology, astronomy, things like that. Their own form of it, though, because we don't know. Some people who study this, these ancient peoples probably know more about it, but that was the way that it was done. So they had their own thing, but they were like, studying the stars, and they knew, when the solstice was. Like I think based on what the sun is, you could tell where the solstice is and stuff like that. They were way smarter than me. Put it like that. But they knew all this kind of cool stuff. And that's what was going on there. All right. Interestingly enough, check this out. This is so pretty. The magic circle. So nowadays in magic, some of us cast a circle. We still do this. The circle is a protection. So you cast a circle, you cast it with shells, with chalk, with salt, with your finger, with energy, with crystals, with candles, whatever you want. Cast a beautiful circle, and everybody stays inside the circle. All the magic happens in the circle. So when people came to Stonehenge to do these ceremonies, the circle was protective. So they probably would have things lit around it. A lot of times if they had like a lantern or something like that. And everybody stayed within the protection of the magic circle while the spiritual work was being done. Okay, this still goes on today. Very common, very beautiful too. So we see this magic, these rituals going on inside of this circle. And again, we talked about the stars. Wish upon a star. So they were doing things of manifestation as well. Some of us would call this prayer. Some of us would call this spell work. Some of us would call this manifestation, intention, whatever you want to call it. That's what they were doing there as well. Remember, I said they were very connected with the stars, the heavens, the moon phases, astrology, things like that. So these people were, for ancient peoples, they were really knowledgeable. They were really, really smart. And of course, I mean, that's how we got it. Now, today, we're piggybacking off what they were learning back then. But it's just amazing to me. With our technology, I can see how we could be looking in a telescope and looking at Jupiter, for example. But they didn't have the same technology, and they were still able to understand a lot of things with just looking at the stars, mapping the constellations, and stuff like that. And they were actively using this for their magic. And they also said that it's a time capsule. It's a relic of its time. It's not being used anymore the same way. I have seen people going there for certain ceremonies and events. But it's definitely not the same, not ran by the same, kinds of people. I don't know who they are, who actually do it today, but I have seen it on television. So it's a relic of its time for what the actual purpose of it was. But it's also being called a time capsule, which is interesting because this means that as we go forward, there may have already been and there may continue to be things uncovered from Stonehenge. So we might find relics here. We might find bones. We might find all kind of stuff. I don't know if people dig here because I probably wouldn't dig here. This looks like this is sacred land, so I wouldn't dig here. But archaeologists may find things along the way. A storm might uproot things, stuff like that. Maybe people do dig there. I don't know. I don't know if it's like one of those archaeological sites because when I see it on television, I don't see nobody digging or doing anything like that. But if they do, there's things to be found here is the point. Things are buried there, around there. And so that's interesting as well. Anybody who studies Stonehenge, let me know that they ever find anything there. Like, have they found anything already? Because there are things to find. All right, so this group of people saw the bigger picture. They came from more of a connected mentality as far as spirituality is concerned, interconnectedness with the earth, the creatures, humans, the stars. They saw it all as being connected, which I see that too. Many spiritual systems see that. It only makes sense to me. But they saw all of us and everything in the galaxy as being interconnected. They saw the bigger picture. And that was why they did the spirituality the way that they did it. That's why they did the spiritual rituals and things the way that they did them. The spirits. They had a lot of respect for the ancestors, a lot of respect for gods, goddesses, angels. They had a lot of respect for heavenly spirits. Now, I don't know what they called them because we all call them something different, but they're spirits. They're, our ancestors, they're whatever, Orisha, whatever you want to call them. It's these heavenly beings, these spirits that help guide and shape their civilization and help them to be intuitive, help them to see further than they were able to see by themselves. So they believe very strongly in spirit. And the last one, inner knowing. They believe very, very much in intuition. They believe very much in taking inner journeys. Many people still do this, shamanic journeying, going inside yourself, raising your consciousness, doing meditations. They were all into this kind of stuff too. So the methods will vary from culture to culture, but we've seen, we currently see this, or we've seen it in other cultures as well. So I would say the people that were there, no, it wasn't a spaceship. No, it wasn't aliens. It just looked like some people who had respect for the earth, themselves, the spirits, and the land. So let me know what you think, and come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.